Hello there, this is Arthur Shears making this presentation of the slideshow that I presented a few days ago at the Association for Career and Technical Education in Phoenix, Arizona. It reflects some of the resources that I think you're going to find useful to promote quality and equity in TVET. These resources are coming from a variety of sources. But first of all, let me take you to the objectives of this presentation. You'll see the objectives coming up, but here's the outline. We're doing an overview, then session learning objectives, background, some case studies from Bangladesh and Malawi. I worked in Bangladesh with the International Labour Organization and in Malawi with UNESCO. Then there'll be a summary and a few questions. So here are the objectives I mentioned. Review the national TVET guidelines from UNESCO and the ILO. Identify at least 2 relevant resources on websites. These are coming from STEP Malawi project and the ILO TVET-R project in Bangladesh, TVET Reform project in Bangladesh. Then also, you should be able to describe 2 strategies that were successfully used abroad to promote equity and engagement in TVET. And lastly, and probably most important, to locate resources used internationally to deliver a gender-sensitive program orientation in colleges. So this presentation will just speak to briefly the International Labour Organization, UNESCO, and the World Bank, all of which have good resources for people interested in promoting equity in TVET. So this first slide refers to the Skills and Employability Branch in Geneva, of the ILO in Geneva. And there's lots of resources. You can go up here and look at programs and projects. And within these programs and projects, if you click on that, you can find lots of information about those projects and programs and what resources they have. This one is useful to get. You can go down here to this website here and click on that, and you can get to this particular site. Useful information from all over the world, so it's recommended. Then we have also UNESCO has lots of resources for general education as well as for technical vocational education and training, that is TVET. And you can click on this site, for example, and find out information about skills for work and life. And this was actually the main theme of that conference, ACTE conference in Phoenix, that was held November, December 2023. Again, to find this one, simply go down here and click on this web link for UNESCO, and it will take you to this site here, this page. There's lots of other resources there from UNESCO you can explore when you have time. For example, there's publications up there and other information, what these projects are doing in terms of impact, expertise that they have within the organization, and so on. Let's move on to the next slide, the next organization. In fact, we're combining both on this slide. We're looking at strategy on skills. This is the ILO strategy on skills and lifelong learning for 2023. This is an excellent overview document for thinking very much the big picture, looking at it from countrywide focus. But of course, many of the suggestions in this document will apply down to provincial level or to institutional level. But excellent document. It's available down here. You can see this web link down here. On a similar vein, we have the UNESCO strategy. This one also speaks to the same sort of issue, and it's got a lot of additional information as well. So both these documents are highly recommended. You can get this one from UNESCO down here if you click on that or go to that website. You can also just type in UNESCO and then search for the title of this document here, Transforming Technical Vocational Education for Successful and Just Transitions. Let's move on to the next slide now. The third entity that we're recommending as a source of information on TVET is the World Bank. And there's resources, as you see here, that you can download, slides even as well, videos. So if you're looking to promote the idea of TVET and how to make it better, and get some ideas from low and middle income countries, this sort of document here is a fantastic resource for your program. This could be used in TVET education training. It could be used in international studies. There's lots of possible uses for this resource. And again, the World Bank has a ton of publications coming out on different subjects, but this one specifically is talking about TVET systems. Again, check the web link down here. You can get to this site at your leisure. So let's continue on. So now we're going to check you with a quick quiz, two-part question. First statement is, Bangladesh is smaller in size than Malawi. So is that true or false? And the second question is, Malawi has more people than Bangladesh. True or false? What do you think? Is Bangladesh smaller? Has it got more people than Bangladesh? And says, has Malawi got more people than Bangladesh? Let's have a look. Physically, geographically, Bangladesh is smaller in size than Malawi. It's, I'm sorry, let me correct myself. Bangladesh is actually larger, 1.2 times larger in area than Malawi. We can see down here. And Bangladesh has approximately 167 million people versus Malawi with about 20 million. So it's many times larger in population, slightly larger in terms of geography. Pat yourself on the back if you got those right. Now, speaking of Bangladesh, and there it is, there's Bangladesh here, tucked in between India and Myanmar, Burma over here, and there's China up there somewhere. This is Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan. I actually worked in most of those countries there. But let's look at this project here, TVET Reform Project. I was there from 2008 to 2015. This project was implemented by the government of Bangladesh in association with the ILO, International Labour Organization. Funding was from the European Union. The European Union is a fantastic international donor in terms of development funding. And that's the Bangladesh flag. So if you click on this website down here, and even though it's 8 years after the project closed in 2015, this website is still up, and it has a lot of very relevant documentation available. Now, the project was looking to ensure Bangladesh's competitiveness in the global market and reduce poverty by improving the quality of vocational education and training. The project ran for 7 years, 7.5 years. I was there for most of that time. So if you delve into this website a little closer, you'll see the kind of resources that are here. We have poverty policy publications, skills development policy, skills vision, national strategy for promotion of gender equity, equality in TVET. This is an important one for our topic, which is promoting inclusiveness and equity. There's stories of we'll see this gentleman here, Moshe Hussein, in a video just coming up, and then lots of other fact sheets on, for example, on RPL, centers of excellence, and something interesting that ILO is offering, something called training for rural economic empowerment. And then lots of other publications. This one is probably the summary document because it's compiling all the work that we did in this project. So the National Skills Development System, all the work we did over 7 years was integrated into this one new system. You'll be able to read that if you download that particular document there. So let's move on. This is an example of one of those documents, resource documents. It's a national level strategy. It's titled National Strategy for Promotion of Gender Equality in Technical and Vocational Education and Training. It came out in 2012, and it's been probably enhanced since then, but it's still got some good guidance if you're looking to develop a strategy to promote more women in TVET. This is another useful document. It's the last one was a strategy. This is a resource guide. So you have a strategy for your country. Here are some ideas on gender mainstreaming in TVET, and it's got some excellent resources in here, excellent ideas, I should say. As a matter of interest, this couple were actually, I guess, the first welding couple in Bangladesh. He started training in welding, and his idea was he was going to end up and going to Singapore from Bangladesh, where he can make a lot more money as a welder, and then work there and send money home. His wife said, wait now, I don't want to lose you for a year or two away in Singapore. Why don't I take welding as well? And so she did. They both finished the program, and as I say, they're the first welding couple in Bangladesh. I wonder how many welding couples there are around the world. I guess there probably aren't that many, but there you go, the first in Bangladesh. And this resource, again, it's ideas, it's a resource guide for gender mainstreaming. Now, I'm going to show you a little video here. This was a sub-project under our project, which was working with the private sector. It happened to be motorcycle repair and servicing. We worked with another entity as well to offer this new program in competency-based training. So it's about 3 minutes long. You'll see a lot of women working there, and you'll hear some comments from some of the participants. It will be in Bangla, but there are English subtitles. So I'm sure you will enjoy it. 3 minutes or so.
ফার্স্টে যখন আসতাম আমরা তখন সবাই আমাদের দেখে মানে বলতো মেয়েরা পারবে কি পারবে না মানে এমন ধরনের কিছু কথা বলতো
To enroll in technical education in Bangladesh in the past, you would have needed grade 8 basic education. For many people, this made becoming a skilled worker, like a service mechanic, an almost impossible dream.
একটা টি স্টোরে চাকরি করতাম, সেখান থেকে আমি শুনতে পাই যে এখানে মোটরসাইকেল সার্ভিস মেকানিক্সে কাজ শেখাচ্ছে ছেলে মেয়েদেরকে। তখন আমি আসি, এখানে আসার পরে আমার পরীক্ষা দিয়ে আমি এখানে কাজ করার একটা সুযোগ পাই।
Using a competency-based training approach, which includes basic literacy and numeracy skills, the government of Bangladesh, with the support of the ILO, is introducing programs which do not need grade 8. These programs are recognised under the National Training and Vocational Qualifications Framework, or NTVQF, part of the government's new approach to skills. Training institutions across Bangladesh are starting to offer these programs.
আমরা যেভাবে মডুলার বেসিস কাজ করতাম, এখন বর্তমানে কম্পিটেন্সি বেসড কাজ করতে যাই। এই প্রথম আমরা ইউসেফ সুযোগ পেয়েছি এই নতুন পলিসি প্রণয়নে কাজ করছেন।
Competency-based training means students learn skills selected by industry. Programs are a mix of practical training and theoretical lessons.
মেয়ে হিসেবে কাজ করতে আমাদের এখানে কোনো সমস্যা হয় নাই, কেননা এখানকার পরিবেশ অনেক ভালো। আমাদের সব ধরনের সেফটি এখানে আছে। আমি সারাদিন ভালোভাবে দৌড়াদৌড়ি কাজ করি আর সব সময় ভালো কাটে। আমি ভাবছি আমার পড়াশোনা আমি আবার চালু করব, আবার ডিপ্লোমা করবো এটার উপরে, তারপর আমি একটা ওয়ার্কশপ দেব।
There are two stages to the training in USEP. In the first stage, trainees learn off the job at the USEP Training Centre. They are then assessed and, if successful, enter the second stage, on-the-job training in local motorcycle service workshops. After completing this, they are assessed a second time and, if successful, are qualified as motorcycle service mechanics. During the 10 months, the skills of the trainees are assessed at regular intervals and their progress recorded in competency logbooks. Trainees are guided by supervisors and work side by side with more experienced service mechanics. Trainers regularly visit them at their workplace to monitor their progress.
আমাদের যেসব কলকারখানা আছে, প্রতিষ্ঠান আছে, ওখানে দক্ষ জনবলের প্রয়োজন আছে, এদের দিয়ে সেটা পূরণ হবে। তারা আমাদের যেসব মেকানিক্স আছে বা যে হেল্পার আছে তাদেরকে মোটামুটি বিভিন্ন রকম কাজ শিখতেছে।
In Rajshahi, Khadija and Maushumi are getting their hands greasy.
কাজ করছি ছেলেদের সাথে, ছেলে মেয়ে একসঙ্গে, তারপরেও আমাদের কোনো সমস্যা নেই। আমরা যখন আস্তে আস্তে ভালোভাবে কাজ করতে শুরু করলাম, মানে কাস্টমাররা এসে যখন দেখলো মোটরসাইকেল আমরা খুব ভালো করে সার্ভিসিং অন্যান্য কাজ করে দিচ্ছি, তখন আর আমাদের কেউ কিছু বলে না।
That was a great video. That question at the end, did you pick out any safety infractions? Several people at the conference in Phoenix suggested, well, they weren't wearing some sort of head covering, so that loose hair could get caught up in something. And also some of the girls were wearing flip-flops, which are not very good if you're riding motorcycles or servicing motorcycles for that matter. You might end up dropping a wrench on your toes. So let's move on to the next slide. Now we're staying in Bangladesh. The idea of this presentation is to get ideas about promoting equity and inclusion in TVET. This is an example of a document that we prepared in consultation with the Bangladesh Employers Federation, BEF. We also worked with the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Dhaka, Bangladesh, to promote employment of persons with disabilities. And this little booklet here gave some information on what is a disability and the advantage of actually hiring people with disabilities. They found, for example, that disabled people worked as well as regular folks, and also were more reliable in terms of staying on with the company, not switching companies so often. The follow-up project to the TVET reform project was called the BSEP project. It came later after 2015, but it also continued the theme of promotion of equity and inclusion, and it produced some resources here. You can find these resources by going here to this project, and if you look up ILO BSEP, if you Google that, you should find this project and other resources produced there. Don't forget the website, the first website. I think this website might be for that one. You already have the website for the TVET project there. So let's move on. Yes, now the last slide was talking about a booklet that we developed in cooperation with the private sector. This video is of that person who was heating and ventilating technician who had a terrible accident and lost many of his fingers on his hands through electrical short circuits. But this shows the power of what a person with a strong will can do. He was hired on as a apprentice coach. We were training some young people on heating and air conditioning, ventilating, and so on. And he was our apprenticeship mentor. So let's watch this particular video. It's again about 3 minutes long. It was shown on the ILO main website, ILO organization office website in Geneva. And at the time, it had the most number of hits of any similar video that was posted on the ILO Geneva website.
মানুষ একটু বিশ্বাসী আসে না যে আমি যে করতে পারবো। আমি যখন বন্ধুদের সাথে একসাথে চা খেতাম তখন আমি বলতাম যে আমি কাজ করব, বলতো যে তুই কি কাজ করবি। এখন মোটামুটি আমি যে কাজ করতেছি, আমার সঙ্গে যে বন্ধু বান্ধবগুলো আছে এর ভিতরে 100%-এর ভিতরে 20% বন্ধু-বান্ধব কাজের সাথে জড়িত, 70% বেকার অবস্থায় আছে। আমিও ওই কর্মের সাথে জড়িত আছি। আমি কাজ করি, সর্বদা 24 ঘন্টার কাজের ভিতরে ব্যস্ত থাকি। আমার এখন অনেক কাজ। তখন আমি বুঝলাম যে আমার এখন একটা দোকান দিলে, আমি আবার যদি নতুন করে দোকানটা দিই তাহলে মনে হয় বাসার কাজের থেকে দোকানে দিলে ভালো হবে। তখন আমি নতুন করে আবার একটা দোকান দিলাম। ওখানে আমার বড় মেয়ের নাম দিয়ে, আমি মুনিয়া রেফ্রিজারেশন আমার মেয়ের নাম দিয়ে আমি দোকানটা দিলাম। আমি এসির কাজ করতাম। ওখানে আমি কাজ যখন কাকলি বনানি একটা রেস্টুরেন্ট আছে, ওখানে ছাদের উপরে কাজ করতে যাওয়ার সময় ওই কাবারের উপরে পানি ছিল, তো সেই পানিটা চুয়ায় পড়ছে পরে আমার হাতটা টেনে নিয়ে গেছিলাম। না যাওয়ার পরে বৈদ্যুতিক ওই শর্টের কারণে ধোঁয়া ছুটে গেছিলো, আগুন ধরে গেছিলো, স্পার্ক করে আগুন ধরার পরে হাতে ফিরে গেছিলো না, তখন ডাক্তাররা কেটে ফেলেছে। গত বছর ব্রাক, ইউনিসেফ, ILO এই 3 সংস্থার একটা প্রোগ্রামে আমাকে জয়েন করলো। তা আমি বললাম তাদেরকে আমাকে কি অ্যালাউ করবে, তখন বললো যে আপনি যে হাত ছাড়া কাজ করতেছেন সেজন্য তো আপনাকে সেলুট দেওয়া দরকার। তখন আমি একটা ভিতরে আত্মবিশ্বাস আসলো, যাই সবার সাথে। ওখানে মানুষগুলা কেউ প্রতিবন্ধী ছিল না, তখন আমি সরব পেতাম। তখন ওখানে সবাই আমাকে সম্মান করলো। সম্মান করার পরে আমার ভিতরে আরও আত্মবিশ্বাস আসলাম। ট্রেনিং করে দোকানের ভিতরে 2টা ছেলে দিল, তাদেরকে যখন শেখাই আমার কাছে খুব ভালো লাগে, আমি শেখাতে পারছি। 2টা প্রোগ্রামে কাজ শেখালাম, আমার ছেলেগুলো ফার্স্ট হইল। এখন আমার 2টা ছেলে, 2টা ছেলে ফার্স্ট, সবার থেকে ভালো ছেলেটি।
Yes, thank you indeed. Thank you to the European Union in this case for helping ILO to support this project. Now, let's move on to another country, this time in Africa. And this was my last long-term overseas assignment. It was in Malawi. Now, how's your geography? How's your geography? Is Malawi located in West Africa, East Africa, or South Central Africa? Well, there you have the answer right there, South Central Africa. Did anybody get that right? If so, again, pat yourself on the back for that question. I think one person in the room in Phoenix got that answer right. And here we have, this is a map, this is the Malawi map up there in the corner. Of course, the continent of Africa here, and there's Malawi, this tiny little country down here in South Central Africa. The program that I was managing as team leader was called Skills and Technical Education Program, STEP Malawi. So the project, its objective was similar in a way to the project in Bangladesh. The objective overall was to empower TVET, the TVET sector, and its capacity to satisfy the economy's need for professionals through improvements in equitable and gender-based TVET in Malawi. Now you see here improvement in equitable and gender-balanced TVET in Malawi. So again, there's a focus on trying to promote more women to engage in technical and vocational education and training and corresponding jobs. The other interesting thing here that you might have picked out is, whereas many projects talk about TVET, technical and vocational education and training, in Malawi they have an extra E, technical entrepreneurial vocational education and training. And indeed, every technical training program in Malawi that comes under the TVET, the Technical Education Authority in Malawi, every student in every program has to take training in entrepreneurship. The reason being that if they can't find a job somewhere, they can become an entrepreneur and develop their own workplace and job. Now this program, the STEP program, has a ton of resources. I'm just going to walk you through some of them here. You can go to the STEP Malawi website to get access to them. So just type in stepmalawi.com. Step Malawi is one word, and .com, and you should get to the homepage that we saw here. We just scoot back here for a second. Oh, okay, it's not letting me do that. Never mind. Stepmalawi1word.com will take you to the homepage, and then go under resources, and you can find some of these wonderful resources here. One of the things, as I was talking earlier, we spoke focusing on gender matters as well as TVET. We did a number of research studies. So here we looked at situational analysis on the status of sexual and reproductive health of students, and also GBV, gender-based violence in TVET colleges in Malawi. So we found actually a disturbing amount of GBV in those colleges. Apparently there hadn't been much research on this issue in TVET anywhere. So this one is somewhat groundbreaking, this basic study here. Then we did a more thorough, more detailed research study, engaging with more training institutions and a broader sample. Sadly, we found similar results. There were issues here of gender-based violence and other matters that were discouraging women from coming into TVET in Malawi. To respond to that, we worked with various stakeholders, including the government, students, trainers, the private sector, and we developed a policy brief that was showing the way to make TVET work for women and vulnerable students in Malawi by improving access and success. So this policy brief is available, again, like the other documents, to download. One of the issues we found in our research was that sometimes instructors, perhaps even unconsciously, aren't treating women the same as their male trainees in their training. Sometimes they wouldn't let them allow them to do certain what might be considered heavier tasks because they were women. Might have not let them have as much practice as the men, or maybe didn't provide the extra encouragement that they might need. So to respond to some of those challenges that instructors might have had regarding women in TVET, we developed a handbook here that was creating that environment, that safe environment, to support learning for women. So another excellent document you can download from the STEP Malawi website. And this particular manual refers to a training course for instructors to give them an idea about what sort of challenges they might be making for women in their training courses, and how to change their training technique to reduce those issues. Here's that manual. In response to the issues regarding gender-based violence, we developed a whole series of resources for orientation. So if you're running, or you're working at a technical training college, these types of resources would be useful. We helped the government adjust their orientation program for new trainees coming in from maybe half a day to a full week, and the results were very encouraging with how the students, the trainees, replied. Again, available for download. This one particularly targeting the college administrators. In addition, though, a part of that orientation program, we developed again with stakeholders a code of conduct for trainees, and there's more detail in here with actually a booklet on the code of conduct. And then a code of conduct for instructors and admin staff. So again, a lot of details in here. And this one is just a poster that was put in a number of places in the college, including painting on a wall. The whole side wall of the building was painted with this code of conduct, as a reminder for everybody how important a code of conduct is for students and trainees and administrators and trainers in a college. And this list, which is available here, you see stepmalawi.com, resource publications. This is the long list of resources that are available if you want to organize an orientation program for new TVET trainees. Again, of course, you can look at these, you can adjust for your own institution. In Malawi, we publish these in English, Chichewa, which is the largest language group, and then also something called Tambuka, which is a variation in the north of Malawi, but it was available in all 3 languages. If you have multiple languages in your country, you can make the changes to the local dialects, use these materials and just adjust them to your particular need in your country. Now, talking about promoting TVET, we hired 2 young people in Malawi. Sanji, who was a reggae singer, quite popular. She was only about 23. And then another chap called Robert Chawamba, who was effectively the national poet laureate, although he never had that title. Robert starts off this video with a poem in Chichewa talking about the strength of women, and then that morphs into a reggae song by Sanji. If you've got your dancing shoes on, that's great. If you don't, if you want to stand up and have a dance. This one is again about 3 minutes, but it was #1 on the Malawi hit parade for several weeks, and it had something like 60,000 downloads, video downloads, when this came out. And it also won the best kind of promotional video in a competition the European Union organized around the world with all their TVET projects. And this video came in #1, so we were really proud with that. See what you think about this video. Promoting gender in TVET, promoting women to join TVET.
Yedi ndi wankazi simukunama, koma zoti ntchito isangagwire chifukwa chachimuna ndikuletsa wawa. Monga bololo osamva m'matope, agwera nawo m'matope nkutuluka osapakika. Ngati nankafumbwe wokhala sabata atunthu asana adye pachimanga, ayika kuchitsakano imeneyi mwansangala agwira, yooneka achimunayi ntchito mopanda phuma. Ife omudziwa tikudziwa ndi olimba mtima ndi odekha ameneyu. N'chifukwa chake pomunyadira kuti nyadu timamutcha mayi ngwazi, ngwazi yachikazi.
Ati ndine wankazi, siningagwira ntchito zina ayi. Poti ndine wankazi, ine panga ndipa nyumba basi. Nitokala chilichonse ningafune lelo, nditogwira ntchito yomwe ndingafune lelo. Kaya ndi soldier, plumber, even a pilot too. Nitagwira ntchito yomwe even mechanics, even carpentry too. Do you know we have politicians, electricians, but say one does in my too. Nine mind ni ngwazi, ngwazi, ngwazi. Osatiyanganira pansi, nitakugwira ntchito yomwe ndifuna. Nine mind ni ngwazi, ngwazi yachikazi. Osatiyanganira pansi. Anthu ambiri pondiyang'ana, kundidelera ndi kundinyozetsa, nthawi zina kundikomerera. Ati ntchito yanga sindikwanitsa, ati simbali yanga. Ndikhalani pansi muone ngwazi, ngwazi yachikazi. Nitakugwira ntchito yomwe ndifuna.
That's a great song and a great message to get women thinking about TVET as a training choice and a career choice down the road. Before I get into the summary, I just wanted to mention that in Phoenix when I was there, I met a couple of gentlemen from New Mexico, two of whom were mechanics in a technical school in New Mexico. And when I told them about this video, they said, "Arthur, this is great. We're going to look at that video because in our shop at the start of the year, when we get new trainees coming in, new students coming in, once the girls have a look around and see it's mostly boys, they just leave. So anything that we can do to help women see that, hey, you can do anything, we can do anything, that's going to help us. So I hope by now they've downloaded that video and are showing it to their students now and in the future. So let's just recap what this PowerPoint presentation was about. We were looking at promoting equity in access to TVET, and it's across a common theme across many international development projects that are run by ILO, UNESCO, and the World Bank. These organizations I mentioned have a wealth of resources available to users. I touched on some of them in the two projects that I managed, one in Bangladesh with ILO and one in Malawi with UNESCO. And these resources include policies, guidelines, handbooks, including management handbooks, for example, that can be used directly or modified, modified, as I said, for use in other contexts in your country, in your training institution, for example. So that's the program. It's running now at about 37 minutes. Let's just see if there's any questions here. In Phoenix, there were a few questions, although first of all, people were very enthused about the videos that were shown. They commented on the fact that TVET in the States is called career and technical education, but TVET, or career and technical education, really should be a fair option, a good option for both men and women to think about what they want to do in the future and to allow them to get the training and skills they need to take that job in their search for productive life down the road. Well, thank you very much. That's the last of the slides. I hope you appreciate it. We're just over 38 minutes. Do check those resource materials at the website in Bangladesh and the website in Malawi, and also the resources that I posted about in the headquarters for both UNESCO and ILO. And with that, that's the end of the presentation. Have a good day, and go TVET.